Hello, I am the Irish Guy, and welcome back to my Premier League prediction series where I go head-to-head with other YouTubers. And today, the latest one, trying to overhaul Anfield agenda at the top, is none other than Zealand.
Hi, I'm Zealand.
What? So that's what he sounds like.
What's up? I've been invited to this. Don't know why.
I think it kind of shows the level of research I do into my guests. But I didn't even know this chap was from America. I was fully expecting to be from Swansea or York. But now, instead he sounds like Tom Hanks' mum.
Football manager, YouTuber, token American, streamer, force of nature, and forehead.
Force of nature. You've got a picture of a duck on your wall. I'm about as intimidated as I would be eating cookies with Poppin' Fresh.
Every time I'm asked to display like fully well-rounded ball knowledge in those sorts of football quizzes, I don't do particularly well because I obviously came to the sport late, so basically anything before 2010's useless.
Before 2010? Oh, well then. What's a Charlton Zogbia? This guy probably thinks two guy is a type of toothpaste for cats.
Predicting results in the Premier League this year is not before 2010, so I should be able to do this pretty well. I'm hoping. If not, then we can just point and laugh at the American.
No, I don't think anyone will be pointing and laughing at the American because the Bronco is from Texas. He only got into football in 2021 and he sits second in the league. So no, I don't think people in the comments are going to be hurling hamburgers in your face just because you used to be the paper boy at Logan Paul's house.
But if I do, by some slumdog millionaire miracle, actually manage to predict this better than people that watch this, every second of every match in this league, then I have your I forgot what you called it. Forfeit?
Yes. The forfeit. Come on then, Zealand. What is your forfeit if you top the leaderboard in May?
If I win, that means an American has won this challenge. Then you are going to have to go on a road trip across America. Have fun driving through Kansas. I've heard it's wonderful.
Yeah, I've heard it's wonderful too. In the bloody Wizard of Oz! Am I really gonna have to apply for a visa and travel to the States? If he manages to fluke a win, right, let's go. Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest.
I love this match. This is a very football manager-esque match for me because it's two teams that should not be involved in a kind of European Champions League, even six-pointer, but they are.
Should not? Should not? Is this man sleeping on the brilliance of Andoni Iraola too? No, Bournemouth are absolutely worth their weight in gold perched in the European spots. They are silky beyond belief. Nottingham Forest, on the other hand, sure. Seeing them in the top four is a bit like seeing your elderly aunt eating a bowl of spaghetti Lady in the Tramp style with Justin Bieber. It just looks odd. I'm sorry, Forest fans are going to assume that I despise the club, but nah, it's just... Seeing Chris Wood humming the Champions League anthem next season would look no less weird than seeing Fogden cast as the next James Bond, loudly screaming, shaken not stirred, while slurping a pint of milk.
Right, obviously they've been around, they've been playing spoiler, they've been having a very good season, and people have continuously been looking at the table going, wow, Bournemouth, wow, Bournemouth.
No, wow, Bournemouth. Put some respect on the Cherries' name. This squad is totally good enough for Europe. Wow, Bournemouth. As if we're suddenly looking at the cast of Desperate Housewives now cleaning toilets at the airport. By the way, shout out Wellesley.
But they've been giving a different level of respect than Nottingham Forest, at least from what I've seen. If Bournemouth is able to win this match, they can kind of steal that respect.
Yes, give them that Forest respect.
Unfortunately for them, I don't necessarily think that is going to happen.
Oh.
There is a total possibility, right, that this match is going to end 1-0 and it's just Chris Wood. And don't worry, I've got Chris Wood scoring 2 goals for Nottingham Forest. All right, I'm not crazy.
Not crazy. Chris Wood has only managed to score more than 1 goal in 1 match this season. Well, Premier League match. I know he scored a hat-trick against Samoa. But I would imagine that country's goalkeeper probably looks like the waitress of 51st Dates. But yeah, we've got Chris Wood being back to score a double by someone literally called Zealand. We shouldn't be surprised.
I hadn't finished picking out who I thought was going to score for Bournemouth.
No. Oh, the guy now has to pluck Bournemouth's goal scorers off the top of his head. And I don't know how out of date his ball knowledge is. For all we know, he can now pick Matt Ritchie and Jermaine Defoe. Wow, I really don't have a clue what his ball knowledge is like. This is like being set up on a blind playdate with your mum. You know, when she invites a strange bookworm home from school. And he suggests that you knock off the Xbox and instead sit down together to read Lord of the Rings instead. I don't even know this guy's real name. I'm gonna guess Bob. Because come on, Zealand? You don't look like the home of rugby and hobbits.
Give me Antoine Semenyo to score one of the goals. Give me Ryan Christie to score one of the goals and kind of some weird, maybe long set piece play where the ball ends up near the top of the box. And then give me... I'll take Kluivert. Other goal scorer for Nottingham Forest, I'll take Morgan Gibb.
The guest ran out of batteries again.
Other goal scorer for Nottingham Forest, I'll take Morgan Gibbs-White. Like the way he's been playing this year.
But look, I don't think it'll be 3-3. I think it'll be 4-0 to Bournemouth. The wheels are going to come off for Forest soon. We have all seen this before. I have seen better teams than Forest crumble under the pressure of being in the top 4 in January, like Aston Villa in 2010, in the Champions League spots at Christmas. But the rod set in, they then squeezed out 4 0-0s in a month, and by March, we're conceding 7 at Stamford Bridge. Sorry, Forest, but you're going to wildly tumble, and yeah. Kluivert, Atara, Brooks, and Semenyo. This is going to be proof that Bournemouth are the superior side. And I'm sorry, but if England are going to have a surprise representative in the Champions League next season, then the Cherries can do far more damage in this new bloated league format. Forest, on the other hand, you'll have really old Barcelona and Juventus fans recognizing the name Nottingham Forest from the 80s, and then they'll be very disappointed to see them getting eaten 4-0 at Celtic. Seeing Nottingham Forest in the Champions League now is like digging up the dead Beatles for a reunion tour. It would look like a Beetlejuice film. Brighton versus Everton.
I have slight bias in this. The lead editor of my YouTube channel is a massive Everton fan. He's taken me to watch Everton.
Sorry, let's hear him say that again.
He's taken me to watch Everton.
You can tell as he's saying this, the life has been drained from his eyes, as if he's describing that afternoon where he was forced to watch his grandma wipe her bum on the loo.
And let's be honest, if Brighton wants to get into a European position, which it as a club now expects to be able to be there, they need to be able to win matches like this. So I got Brighton. I'm going to take Brighton 2-0 in this one. And I'm going to go with Mitoma and Yankuba Mente as the goal scorers. My final choice. Why Mente? I love the Gambia. And he's good.
Mate, don't feel embarrassed about picking Minte. It's like he's desperately trying to justify it to his mates. I'd be like when you're at school and you feel embarrassed to admit that, yes, you've got a crush on the pig off the Muppets. But hey, the man loves the Gambia. Why? It's mad. Here we have a 31-year-old manager pitting his wits against someone who is double his age. Lads, when Moyes first took the Everton job, Hursuler was 9. When Moyes was coaching Wayne Rooney, Hursuler probably thought the babies were born out the bum. And the child is going to win. 2-0, Jorginho Rutter and João Pedro. Next, Liverpool versus Ipswich.
Ipswich, they've had a lot about them this year. They're coming off that absolute blowout. Their pride is wounded, but they've played a lot of exciting matches. They can't defend.
I'm sorry, I'm just so distracted by his rich, booming voice. This guy should arguably voice the next Mufasa. Or if they were ever to bring back Troy McClure, his voice is insatiable. Whereas I sound like Mickey Mouse halfway through puberty.
I'm going to give Liam Delap a goal. I'm going to give Liverpool a 3-1 win with the third goal kind of coming late. Goal scorers, I'm going to go with Mo Salah. Obviously, I'm not going to go through one of these and not pick Mo Salah to score.
Yeah, very sensible, mate. Anybody who doesn't tip Salah to score against tiny little Ipswich is just throwing points out the window. It would be like putting Floyd Mayweather in a ring with the Jedward twins and thinking money wouldn't land a punch.
You know, I'll take a set piece for like the second goal of the game. Virgil van Dijk. 3-1, late goal from Darwin Nunez to kind of put it away. Ipswich gives them something to think about.
I think Liverpool will win 4-0. Salah with 2, Gakpo with 1, and Luis Diaz with 1. Southampton versus Newcastle.
I mean, there's only one way this is going to go, really.
Yep.
Southampton are competing, at least. They're trying to, with Derby County for the worst season in Premier League history.
Hang on a second. I thought this guy didn't know anything that happened before 2010. Derby County was 2007. Who told you?
They are terrible. They are abject horror. Okay, Southampton should be barred from competing in the league the rest of the year. They're bad. Their fans know they're bad. They just show up, boo, and leave at halftime, right? Like, which I don't blame them for that. I'm not dumping on them for that. That's what they should do. They are in the mixer. They're getting abused, and they're going to continue to get abused until the end of the season.
Yeah, it's true. Southampton fans probably feel like they're going out with Christopher Moltisanti.
Newcastle's going to win this. I'm just going to throw an Alexander Isak hat trick in there and an Anthony Gordon goal, 4-0.
Wow. So we're both to be Alexander Isak to net his second ever Premier League hat-trick? But this match, it reminds me of the last time that the Magpies travelled to a Premier League side who are as bad as this Southampton one. September 2023, Sheffield United 0, Newcastle 8. We are due a ruthless Eddie Howe blitz, somebody who's secretly one of the most ruthless bosses in the league. I know, it's weird to think that about someone with such an angelic face, someone who looks like he needs to ask his wife to remove the spiders from his house. But lads, most managers now don't want to embarrass their opponent. We have seen both Tottenham and most recently Burnley racing to 5-0 leads at halftime and then just stopped. Not Eddie Howe though, because that wasn't even the first 8-0 away win of his career. He did that at Birmingham City's ground with Bournemouth in 2014. So I'm gonna go 6-0. Isak with 3, and other goals from Gordon, Byrne, and Bruno. Just you watch. Wolves versus Arsenal.
Wolves obviously has Mateus Cunha, who's rumored to be going everywhere except for staying at Wolves. And one of the teams that could be after him is Arsenal.
True.
So Arsenal wins 2-1. Second half goal from Leandro Trossard, who comes on to do his thing, or maybe he was already on the field and he's able to do his thing. I don't know what Mikel Arteta wants to do, but I just know Trossard is going to score the second goal in this match. The first goal, I'll go ahead and give that to Kai Havertz. Maybe Wolves' goal for Mateus Cunha is late, and it's just a, hey, look at me, come sign me, please type score.
Look, the sensible thing to do is just to tip the Gunners to win. They have beaten Wolves the last 7 times they've met them, so I really should just shut up and say that Arsenal will win. However, I am trying not to listen to the evil voice in my head. I am trying to ignore that voice telling me to go outside and eat my neighbor's flowers. But also, I think Wolves might win. 1-0, Mateus Cunha. Man City versus Chelsea.
Manchester City against Chelsea. And I'm going to hit you with a ridiculous stat.
Okay, come on then. Educate me.
For the 9th time this season, Manchester City has lost from a winning position. Unheard of. Right, absolutely unthinkable considering Manchester City's normal penchant for being able to suffocate matches. But they have allowed 9 losses from a winning position, which is the most of any team in the top flight.
Okay, interesting.
And that is mainly because Southampton doesn't get in a winning position to then lose it, but you understand the point.
Right.
I think Manchester City jumps out to a 2-goal lead. A 2-0 lead, and then Chelsea gets one back, and we have a flurry towards the finish. But I'm going to say Man City is able to hold on for a 2-1 win. I think Erling Haaland scores both goals for Manchester City, just as, does his normal Man City type of stuff. Chelsea, I'm a little more split on the goal scorer.
Okay, he's taking his time here. Come on, don't leave us in suspense. Who's he gonna pick to score? Who's he gonna pick? I feel like he's gonna say something really weird like Tosin or Solomon Kalou. Come on, man, we don't have all day.
A smart man would say Cole Palmer, but I'm gonna not be a smart man and say Jadon Sancho nicks the goal for Chelsea. 2-1 though to Man City.
Jadon Sancho? Okay, it's not as bizarre a pick as I thought it was going to be. He could well net against his former club, but Zealand, you went 3/4 of the way. I'm going to finish the prediction you did not have the stomach to close out. Because this man spent a huge chunk of the video telling us all about how Man City like to throw away a lead. Something you should not do when walking your XL bully in the park. And then he says Man City will hurtle into a 2-0 lead, but also that they will win. No, I'm going to say City go 2-0 up through Erling Haaland and Jack Grealish. Yes, I'm actually tipping him to score his first Premier League goal in over a year. I know it's strange, but come on. He just scored against Salford and PSG, so I guess that is a rock star purple patch for him. I mean, it's not quite a Mickey Almiron purple patch, but that's another story, eh, Jack? I think Chelsea will come back into it, though. Seize upon frailty and a lack of confidence in the City players. And yes, Cole Palmer will score, and then late on, like 86th minute, Nicholas Jackson will complete the comeback. 2-2. Crystal Palace versus Brentford.
These are 2 of the teams that more than any other team are just floating there in the middle, which is where Crystal Palace has basically been, it feels like, for my entire life.
What if I told you I remember seeing Crystal Palace getting relegated, but also they had Andy Johnson up front, who netted 21 Premier League goals that season. I mean, half were penalty, sure, but 21. That would have been enough to win the Golden Boot in 2007, 2009, and 2011. I'll go with a 2-2. Gehi, Mateta, Mbemo, Wiza. Entertaining match, but no winner.
I'm going to take Brentford in one of the less exciting matches of the weekend. I'm going to go 1-0 with my doppelganger, Mikel Damsgaard, scoring the goal. Of course. He was my only choice for goal scorer there.
Oh, no. Oh, I feel kind of bad now, because no person on earth would choose to voluntarily model themselves on Mikel Damsgaard. No, Zealand, come on. You're more handsome than him. Tottenham versus Leicester.
Well, I mean, look, if Tottenham loses this match, then you might as well introduce them to the relegation battle. They can't lose this one.
Yeah, he's right. This match for Tottenham is like a KSI catchphrase. Can't lose. I mean, to be fair, you obviously wouldn't lose boxing a nearly 50-year-old Wayne Bridge.
This is the game where we can get right. And they need to get right. Because if they don't get right, I don't care how deep they're going in the cup, Ange Postecoglou's seat's going to start getting hotter and hotter until it blows up like a volcano. All right, I don't look. It's cold. I think his seat's cold right now because they're still in the cup, and he's a project type guy. But you start losing matches like this, you'd be surprised how quickly that thermostat gets going.
I think Postecoglou's seat is probably begging for a cushion. I mean, do you want him to sit on you?
Tottenham can't defend. I'm going to give one to Jordan Ayew just because I feel like an Ayew always scores every weekend in the Premier League. I know that's not true.
That's about as accurate as saying that I get kissed by Santa every day.
And then Jamie Vardy's going to get the other one because I'm picking a Leicester match, and how could I not pick Jamie Vardy to score a goal?
Great.
On the other side for Tottenham, I'm going to go with James Maddison to grab one of the goals. I always thought he was one of the better U.S. presidents. Oh.
Is this some American humor I just would not get? Oh, turns out, yeah, he was in 1809. But you know what's freaky? Turns out he's not even the first US president that was mentioned in this video. Because turns out there was also one called Andy Johnson. Freaky.
I'm going to take Son Heung-min for one of the goals, and I'm going to go a bit off the beaten path for the third one. And if I hit this, I'm going to look like a genius. I'm going to go Mikey Moore.
Mikey Moore!
I really like Mikey Moore. He's shown a lot of the right stuff.
Mikey Moore! Don't make me splutter Weetabix out my nose!
If a man's Postecoglu, I'm looking to give kids like that maybe a bit more of a chance considering the recent form of the team. I think he'll get on the field as a result of that, looking for a spark, and he ends up scoring a goal. Maybe the winner, but 3-2.
Lads, if Mikey Moore scores this weekend, then I will fly to America and eat your chest hair. Mikey Moore. Okay, I should stop laughing in the guest's face. No, I'll play it safe and say 3-0 Spurs. Son, Solanke, and Maddison against his former club. Aston Villa versus West Ham.
Aston Villa and West Ham, two clubs that I used to mix up constantly before I started making content and videos because the badges are so similar and their vibe was so similar.
I get it. I'm guessing back in the day, Marlon Harewood probably struggled to remember which was his current team. Now he's just confused whenever Jill Scott mentions his name.
I think Villa wins at 1-0. There's only one man scoring. Former MLS player John Duran, who's since become a sensation, but remember where that man came from. America!
I wasn't expecting that. You know what's mad? He actually sounds good. He can hold a note. Not only does he have a booming, awesome voice, but this guy, he sounds like he belongs in the Foo Fighters or something. How does he have such a brilliant voice? Meanwhile, I just sound like Donald Duck's mate. 2-1 Villa, Ollie Watkins and Morgan Rogers versus one from Thomas Suchek. Fulham versus Man United.
This is, look, I had to do it at some point. I had to pick this score line at some point. 0-0.
Rookie mistake. Don't do it. I learned months ago, never ever include a 0-0 in this because 1, it's extremely unlikely to happen, and 2, you're leaving points on the table. You're just refusing to pick any goal scorers.
I think it's a 0-0 that United is upset by and Fulham is happy with.
It's not going to be 0-0. If this match finishes 0-0, then I will sing a love song for Zealand with a polished music video and everything. In the battle of the former Sporting Lisbon managers, I'm going to go Fulham 3, Man United 1. So yeah, 3-1. Raul Jimenez, Emil Smith-Rowe, and Alex Iwobi versus a Bruno Fernandes penalty. But just you watch. It's happening.
I'll say something to wrap up, I guess.
You guess. You guess. Sing us another song.
I don't know how well our predictions lined up, but thank you so much for having me on. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time, partner. I got some cattle to wrangle.
In his head, this outro must have sounded like Clint Eastwood. In reality, Woody off Toy Story.
Howdy.
But look, big thank you to Zealand for coming on. This was a delightful surprise package. I enjoyed this one, and yes, I am in awe of your voice. You seem like an absolute gent, a great guy, and we shall see. Will the Bronco be joined by another American up high in that tree? That would be amazing, but we shall see. Big thank you to Zealand. Anyway, that is the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Who do you want on next? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. As always, I'll talk to you in a while.